What's the thing you remember most when it comes to a new console when you first get it home? Especially lately, I'd say the last few generations. What's the biggest thing that you take home from that? What's the biggest thing you remember? Is it like, when you get home the console and you plug it in and you see that fresh new UI, or you want to see that graphical showpiece that really showcases what these new consoles can do? I think it's a mix of all these things, but I also think that it's very important to make a new console generation and a new console in general make it feel better than what you had previously, while also not losing any of that functionality. And I think that's something that we really missed out on with this particular current generation from last generation. It felt like a lot of the updates that we had to the dashboard on the Xbox 360 in particular got thrown away, and on the PlayStation side, they did kind of do some, but they threw some away too, and we had to almost start all over. But now it looks like, according to this leak, things are looking up. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. And if you guys want to become members, or if you want to support the channel by just hitting that bell, that's all it takes. It doesn't take much. At the very least, just a like for your content creators. Man, I put in a lot of work on this stuff, and I would just really appreciate it. So, with that being said, obviously, Sony showed off the form factor of the PlayStation 5. They showed off some games. They're going to have another event afterwards. Microsoft started teasing their event and stuff like that. I think we're going to see some pretty incredible things from both companies. Microsoft basically has no choice but to show off a lot of things, and they've had a lot of time to kind of prepare for that. With that being said, one of the things we know that is not going to be upgraded is the UI user interface on the Xbox Series X. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's quite simple. It looks like, to me anyway, they've already announced, or it's already come out, that there's going to be the same user interface on the Xbox One right now that there has been, for the last, year or so. I mean, they've done minor updates, but what I'm saying is you're not going to get a completely fresh new UI. It's going to be the same one. So if you unplug your Xbox One S or X and plug in your Series X, you're going to see the same dashboard. It's basically going to behave exactly the same. There might be some a little bit more responsiveness with it, but at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see what they do. I think that's a bad part, in my opinion, of next generation coming from Microsoft, because, like I said, I always love that fresh new feel, and so many people had problems with that. The Xbox One this generation, like for me personally, I always felt like I didn't really like the UI. I liked it at first. I liked Snap, but they really kind of left out so many features that were great on the Xbox 360 that it kind of bummed me out. And so now we sort of see a situation where things are going to get a little bit better, and I'm really excited for that. I want to see what they have to offer. Obviously, Sony has a lot to show off as well. They're talking more about it. Some patents come out, some things are being said, some things are being leaked, and it does sound pretty incredible, and that's what I kind of wanted to go over some of this stuff with you guys. So according to this patent that kind of leaked out, Sony's been working on a quote-unquote unified UI menu screen that will allow players to execute multiple programs or applications with ease. The filing points out that currently players have to open up an entirely separate menu in order to access the UI while running a program or application, and the solution, according to this filing, is to give players a UI that overlaps a running program or an application. So players will not have to exit their current session to access the main menu screen. So that's some good news right there. We aren't going backwards for a change. Now, according to this directly, acquiring a menu display instruction from a user requesting a menu screen of a system to be displayed while an application program is running, and displaying a second menu screen in which, in addition to a content icon, including in a first menu screen of the system that is displayed when the application program is not running. An instruction icon for entering an instruction in the running application program is displayed while being mixed with the content icon when the menu display instruction is required. Basically, what all that technical mumbo-jumbo means is, if you're playing your game, let's say you're playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, and you want to run some kind of application, you're able to do that as well, and you don't have to worry about backing out of your game and things like that. So it actually comes not too soon after PlayStation's vice president actually came out and confirmed that the new PlayStation 5 UI is 100% overhaul of the current PlayStation 4 UI, which, again, I love that. He also added that the new UI uses some very different and new concepts and was designed to be practical first and foremost. And he teased that the PlayStation 5 uses a whole new visual language as a UI for that matter, and the current UI had to go through a complete re-architecting from the ground up, while pointing out that very few pixels are left from the PlayStation 4 UI. He also stated in terms of functionality that you can navigate across the entire PlayStation 5 UI in a matter of milliseconds. So obviously the aforementioned patent for unified UI to be is actually part of this quick navigation aspect, and I will link this so you guys can check it out. So when it comes to new consoles, there's lots of things. One thing is, like I was saying earlier, you don't want to be completely held back by the previous generation. You don't want to lose the things that you got. I can remember it was like the original Xbox. You could rip music, you can rip DVDs, and then like do custom soundtracks and stuff. I think didn't we lose that some with the 360 and then the Xbox One? It was like you couldn't use USB or something like that. It was like they take away a lot of these little features. It sort of reminds me of the Madden video games, right? Where they'll come out with this exciting new feature, and then they'll scrap it the next year, and then they'll bring it back the year after that. It's like, oh, we heard your feedback, and we're bringing back this feature. It's like, look, the stuff that's on there now, give us all that stuff, and then give us more stuff so that it feels next generation, because the worst thing is this feeling of not being next generation, and I hate that feeling. I think that it's really one of those things that kind of bums me out a lot, and I really do hope that we kind of see something that kind of parallels between what we had and what we're getting, and I want that new feeling. And I really do think that Sony's going about it the right way with the traditional console generations, and hey, you're going to get a completely refreshed look, and you're going to get this and you're going to get that. I really like that aspect of things. On Microsoft's side, I don't like that as much, but again, they're trying to keep everybody kind of involved. You know what I mean? They don't want you to feel kind of left out or feel bad or whatever. I also happen to think that they know that they're not going to be able to match what Sony does in terms of sales and stuff like that, so it behooves them, in order to sell their content the first couple years, to offer their content in as many places as possible, and that's exactly what they're going to do. It's a smart move for them, right? Like, Microsoft isn't hurting for money. It's definitely something that's very smart. It's something that they can actually kind of do on a regular basis, right? Like, they have that PC stuff. Actually, it's not even really worth mentioning the xCloud stuff, because I feel like a lot of people felt like when Microsoft is going after these quote-unquote 2 billion gamers, that those would be people, that xCloud would be a big way to get those people in. And it turns out xCloud isn't really growing anything. It's just something that people who already own an Xbox and the games are kind of, some people are using as an alternative once in a while. It's not this big thing that actually is blowing up like they thought. One of the main reasons is, and look, Google Stadia is a good analogy to compare to, because you can play these games anywhere you want, right? On your phone, whatever, laptop, whatever, TV. The problem is that I see from most people is you have to buy the games, right? People don't want to do that. Now, when you look to xCloud, yeah, if you already are an Xbox owner, so you're already in that ecosystem, you already have the games, okay? So you don't have to buy them again. Now, with xCloud, if you're not in the ecosystem, of course you're going to have to buy them, or you're going to have to do Game Pass or something. So some people don't like doing that, So again, it's probably really not something that they're gaining a lot from. But when it comes down to what they're able to accomplish with, not having a completely new generation, I think they'll be able to accomplish that, because let's face it, Sony has all the makings of what's going to be pretty much a blowout of the next generation. They're going to probably win pretty big, and Microsoft will do well still, even without that, just because they have things like Game Pass, and they have PC, and they'll have multiple Xboxes, especially for the first couple of years. And I think that that's going to be a key selling point for them. Like, when they closed down Mixer the other day, that really kind of stung for a lot of reasons. One of the main reasons is they always talk up community and how they support each other, and then they close it down without giving anybody any notice. You kind of just get that feeling that maybe they could do that with Xbox as well at some point if it doesn't do better. But when it comes to like what Sony's doing, you kind of trust them with PlayStation, because that's their lifeline, and that's what they care about the most. That's what's carrying Sony right now. And so when you kind of go back and forth and look at the other two, I just get the feeling that Microsoft would drop Xbox in a heartbeat if they had to, and wouldn't think twice about it, or wouldn't think twice about you or me or anybody. Where Sony, they really rely more on that. They really kind of rely more on that. So I really do hope that everything gets straightened out and we get great stuff across the board. It's honestly, that's what I'm hoping for. That competition, that back and forth, that fight you know, like we haven't seen in such a long time. I want to see that back, and I want to see Microsoft and Sony go after each other like never before. I'm excited to see what happens, and I would love your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. What do you think about it? What do you think about when you get a new UI, when you get a new console? Is that one of the things that you most look forward to, or do you not care like I do? Are you not one of those people that cares about, hey, I got this fancy new UI or whatever, or are you a person that really does care? Because I care about that stuff. I think I want a totally new experience with a new console, not the same old thing. So let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day. I appreciate anyone that took time out to watch one of my videos. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. Rack 'em up. Game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.